In today's hagiography segment, we will speak about Saint Mary of Egypt. We can learn a lot from her. For example, it can often be hard for one to pull themselves out of the pit that is sin. It can be easy for one to convince themselves they are too far gone, in a sense. They see their sins as a part of their identity. Just look at homosexuals and the like. Their habits and flaws as something that can never change. This attitude perpetuates itself. Yet, even with a change in attitude, procrastination can continue to perpetuate this type of unfortunate, self-destructive psychology. Take, for example, a man addicted to masturbation and pornography. They may see that it is wrong, but they may do nothing to change their sinful habit. Instead, they excuse themselves and keep postponing that faraway moment in their life when they will finally kick it. They hate their lifestyle, but they stay in their lifestyle. They only acknowledge what is wrong. They do not address it. More critically, what trust do they really have in God? Because they do not turn to prayer to ask God to save them from their lifestyle of demise. Instead, they lack trust in their own ability to kick such a habit to the point where they almost believe God can't do anything about it for them. We must rid ourselves of this mindset. This mindset not only traps us in sin, but also prevents us from reaching our full potential. For so long I have said, I will go to the gym, I will work out, I will start a regimen, I will get a gym membership, I will change my diet, I will reach my physical potential, I will get in shape. I said all of this with a tiny disclaimer though. I'll do it later, sometime later. I postponed it, I put it off, I procrastinated. Yet I am sitting here now, and I've yet to get a gym membership, or to really start working out. I've never really went through with it. I've done it, but I've fallen out of it at points, or I'll have an excuse. I no longer can go to the gym for free, for example, when really a membership is so cheap, so inexpensive, I have the income to do it, so why don't I do it? See, I do not trust myself, but I should trust God. And if I pray to God to help me with this, then God will help me with this. Such an attitude will give me the confidence to go out and do what I should do, which is, in this example, to get myself in shape. Saint Mary of Egypt completely freed herself from this mindset. Let us think about her background. She was a celebrity and a prostitute. Think of the abomination that is the Kardashians. Saint Mary of Egypt, before coming to Christ, fell in line with that lifestyle. Perhaps prostitute is not accurate in describing her past even, as some accounts say she wouldn't even charge for her so-called services. Her life was full of sin and wickedness, alright? Just think of any whore in Hollywood, and that was Saint Mary of Egypt before she came to God. Steven Anderson would probably look to Saint Mary of Egypt before she came to God and say, "Oh, reprobate!" Right? He'd probably say something along those lines, maybe not because she wasn't a homosexual, but generally speaking, people would look at Saint Mary of Egypt and think, she's too far gone. Yet, her lifestyle was indeed leading her soul to ruin. Her soul was not permanently lost. It can never be permanently lost while we are living. And indeed, she was not a reprobate, because she did find God. See, like many hedonists, she wanted to travel, so she went with a group of pilgrims to Jerusalem, only seeing it as an easy way to tag along and see the city. Yet when she got there, she just happened to run into the exaltation of the Holy Cross. Saint Mary of Egypt, despite her wicked ways, had her heart of stone cracked open. At that moment, she opened her heart to God. By being in the presence of the cross, she knew that it was holy. She was compelled to touch it, but realized she could not. How could she dare touch the cross? She realized the fault in her sinful lifestyle right then and right there. She realized the wickedness. She understood where she had gone wrong. So she did not simply meditate on this newfound understanding. Instead, she took action immediately. She did not say to herself, "In a year I will give up my wicked lifestyle and come to God." No. She converted to the faith immediately. She embraced Christ without a moment's notice. We can be reminded of Saint Expedius here, who was tempted by Satan, the evil one, to wait one single day before becoming a Christian. Expedius crushed the serpent under his boot and said, no, not one more day. He would be a Christian today, that very day. Likewise, St. Mary of Egypt, upon having her heart opened to God through the sight of the cross, became a Christian that very day. What did she do the next day? She did not allow herself to go back to her past. Instead, she left her old ways behind and went out into the desert, where she prayed and fasted for the rest of her life. Now that is action. How hard is it for some people to give up what tempts them to sin? Yet St. Mary of Egypt gave up everything to prevent herself from sinning so wickedly again. She secluded herself from the entire world to pray for forgiveness, knowing that she was a sinner, and only through the grace and mercy of God could she be redeemed. She died after receiving the Eucharist from another saint, after having lived so long in repentance in the desert. She went up to God, and now she is there on His divine counsel alongside all the saints. We must take St. Mary of Egypt's example. We must take St. Expeditius's example. We must give up our wicked habits. We must give up our ineffective ways today, not tomorrow. Do not procrastinate in your quest to find God and salvation. Do not procrastinate in your worldly goals either, such as physical fitness. Recognize your faults, vow to put them to death, and slay them the next day.